Yo, what's good?
What's popping?
How did that theme song feel?
The theme song felt good, man. That shit felt official.
Yeah.
That shit felt real official. It was just like, good like starting lineup vibes, you know?
Facts.
All right, so today, first of all,
What's
a podcast with no budget.
Episode 2.
My name is Made.
And this is your boy Omenihu.
And today we got our first guest.
First guest.
Who ironically,
Wagwan and
this is Dose Global.
what's happening?
Super creative.
Yeah.
Musician, graphic designer, fashion,
musician
product
designer.
house.
Musician designer.
Musician
Because I
designer.
just feel like I design. Like I don't like to like put a label on my design.
That's a
My
fact.
design is very them, they. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
He said intersectionality with the design.
exactly. Yo, I fuck with the theme song though. It's like I was expecting like, you know, one of them niggas, what's some niggas from Buffalo? Like, yeah, like one of them niggas.
Hey,
top
yo.
one.
Yeah,
What's that?
Griselda.
He said Griselda.
Yeah, it sounded like some shit them niggas fuck with. You
Shout
know
out
what I'm saying?
Griselda.
I was waiting for like the like drill hi-hats. I wanted some Shawnee Bin Laden shit to kind of happen. But I fuck with it. You
Of
know what I'm
course. Like we
Energy.
cooked that thing up. What's today?
Thursday. We cooked it up 2 days
saying? Oh,
ago.
so this
Yeah.
is some new.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
New shit, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Easy.
New heat.
So we on episode 2.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and just to kick it off, it's like, yo, what have y'all been on? What have y'all been learning?
Shit, man. Dose.
Shit. What have I been learning? Patience.
That.
Patience in dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Security. And being aware of people's insecurities. So, you know, just trying to be positive and a leader out here with these people, you know what I'm saying, with folks. So I feel like when you're in them certain situations, you know, you want to spread light, spread love. So
That's real.
Yeah, that's a bar.
I think, so last month I did a lot of traveling, a lot of personal reflecting. And one of the things that I figured out I had to be better at was just being a better person. And it fits right in with what you were saying, man. Just like being able to like put a focal point on, you know, building relationships and so on and so forth. I was like, yo, like I tried to do art that was so nice I wouldn't have to talk to nobody. And then I figured out, I was like, yo, like
That
you're a
damn
great
near don't
artist.
exist.
That's what I'm saying. You're a great
Facts.
artist, but like to others, you suck as a person. So that's the part that you got to work on. You know what I mean? So like,
but I love Azalea Banks.
Shit.
She's like literally she's like one of the best rappers. Like she's better than like pretty much like 80% of men rappers. Like she's one of the best rappers like living and breathing on earth. But I think like people don't like her. So I'm just
oh, so that's
I get that. Like obviously there's a lot of people who
like
end up being
no
like,
one has flows like her. She
Facts.
like shits on everybody.
but
literally.
like the way she interfaces with people always becomes the topic of conversation.
Yeah, she talks about people who are in very powerful positions and they kind of like bite back. Like, you know, she's like talking shit about Elon Musk, kind of like letting people know about certain things that go on in his household. She's talking shit about T.I. and Tiny.
Yeah, but you know,
that's kind of what makes her like even rawer to me. Outside of her being an awesome musician, is that she doesn't hold her tongue. I feel like we're in this era of artistry where, like, I feel like back in the day, James Brown said whatever the fuck he wanted to say. It's like Azalea Banks should be allowed to
the
be
internet
her.
would have hated
Oh
the way
my
that
God,
Hey, you know,
James, first off, he got a song called "It's a Man's World." That shit would not happen
Nope.
in this world, bro. Like, in
but
this
you know, once again,
state.
it's different eras where everyone was singing that, and now you go on YouTube, you type in "It's a Man's World," you have a white girl singing it with the guitar playing. So
Yeah.
so you know, life is funky. So
Life is funky, and just to add another point, because Azalea Banks is a dark-skinned black woman, I feel like there's like 10 times as much of a fucking microscope on anything she says, because I feel like this society doesn't want black women, especially dark-skinned ones, to have an opinion.
facts.
You know what I mean? Who's the most popular black woman you can think of? Like,
Megan Thee Stallion.
I'll say Beyonce.
Like he's like skipped over Oprah.
You're
He
thinking
skipped-
who's
Okay,
more,
come on,
who's
nah,
more
nah.
powerful
Hey.
in my mind? Yes, Megan Thee Stallion. Yes,
He skipped
I want her
over
here, but,
Oprah, Michelle Obama.
But yeah, Oprah, Michelle Obama, But think about Beyonce. It's like, how often does she speak her mind?
But she doesn't. But that could be something that she picked up with being Jay-Z.
I was about to say.
Jay-Z doesn't.
It don't got shit to do with Jay-Z.
No, think about it. It's like who you're with rubs off on you. And like their way,
you know what? He doesn't.
Hold on.
He's not too vocal about a lot of things.
Like
as
so,
well.
it's one of those things where maybe that's the strategy that became adopted by both of them. It's like, wait, we don't need it.
I feel like that's why they attracted to each other. That's why they actually had that understanding.
Well, there's a success thing. There's like it's like, yo, I love that we both have this same common goal, and like these niggas is taking over the world. Like I fuck with it. It is what it is. Like nigga used to sell crack, and now you doing whatever you want. Like that's amazing. I wish my cousin that sold crack was like a mogul. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wisen up, open the market up. But you know, but at the end of the day, going through your day to day, how have y'all been up? Because Dose, whenever you answered the question, you kind of went like broad bullet point. But how have you been applying like the stuff you've been learning day to day?
You know what's crazy? I've been on some like I have a crazy ass workload, and I've been mostly
and what is the workload?
I've been at the crib, at the factory, bouncing out records. Like I've kind of been more on the clothing design side, design in general side recently. So I've been like at the office, at the factory, at the crib, and I've just been working
out here in LA.
I have to work out here in LA, and I've laid low since I've been back from London. I haven't told many people I'm in LA, because when I tell people I'm in LA, they're like, "Oh, let's do this, let's do this."
How long were you in London?
I was in London for like a couple weeks, and I was getting a little bit of work done, and then also a couple of my friends had some big life changing moments. One of my friends, Control, he had his like first like major showcase.
Shout out to Control. I never met him, but I remember you put us in a group chat on Instagram.
No, that's
to see that he's getting it now.
No, that's my brother. He's been the same person he was for the past like 10 years. I've known him for so long. And now he's finally blowing up and getting that recognition.
Yeah, it's CNTRL, right?
CKTRL.
CKTRL.
And he's been the same nigga this whole time. But it's like, oh, this dude's dope. Because it's just like, it's more so about visibility, getting your shit out there, caring about like what your press packages look like, caring about like how you're presented to the world. And I really fuck with that about him. And then another one of my homies, Jaylen Hawkins, he plays for the Falcons. Fucking amazing. He got a pick. They had their game in London, like the fucking.
Oh yeah, at the Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah. And my boy got to pick that game. My motherfucker stood up and yelled like a motherfucker because it was insane. But yeah, is my mic too loud?
No, you good. It was just catching some of the.
It's a little sibilance. So I was out there for that, but then I ended up doing like some work with my agency. My co-founder Jasleen, she's fucking amazing. And she's been like such a fucking like co-leader with me in this shit. And how I'm applying that shit, to go back to the original point, to what I'm doing, it's like I'm dealing with people every day. I'm dealing with my lawyer every day. I'm working on major clients like clothing line right now, and I'm dealing with those people like every day. And I'm like, it just doesn't stop. I'm at the factory. I'm filling samples, swatches. We're flying in silk from Korea. We're figuring out like all these things that kind of, it's like shit I love to do, but I've been drained like a motherfucker. And then like a part of the draining is like interactions with people. So I'm just learning patience. I'm learning just a lot with like, okay, how am I presenting myself? How am I communicating with people? So I think there's a blessing to all of that, is like becoming a better communicator, because I feel like when you do any type of like art form that you love, like I love design, I love music, and I feel like those are both like super big forms of communication. Like I was telling you, the jeans you're wearing right now communicate to me like 12 different things about who you are. You know what I mean? Just as like a song would communicate an idea or whatever, a philosophy. So
with all of that being said, like what got you on your path? Like you said, so like with the podcast, no one knows what you look like right now. No one knows who you are. Yeah. So it's like
he's fresh as fuck in a very unique way.
Facts.
Very.
So you gotta get us to the point. How did you? Man, we're in this conversation talking.
How I got on the path I'm on. I grew up in Atlanta. I actually grew up in DeKalb County, Georgia, and I feel like if you came to school and your shit wasn't together, niggas would fry your ass to oblivion. So I grew up around all niggas. My teachers was niggas. My teachers was frying us. My teachers, you ever watched the Halle Berry movie Baps?
Nah.
I had teachers that looked like that growing up.
Baps is on
Was she a
Netflix
crackhead
right
in that one?
No, she's not a crackhead in that one. She's just like an Atlanta girl. She's like literally from DeKalb County in that movie. And it was interesting watching that because I was like, damn, this kind of reminds me of this era. Like, this is what my teachers was into when I was that age, when I was like 6. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But she just like a hood chick. You know what I mean? But like a specific to Atlanta hood chick. But man, I don't even think I'm on a path, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I'll just be freestyling.
Okay.
I ain't gonna hold
still
you.
a path.
Like, I guess, like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, like life be really giving niggas lemons and agave. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
The fuck you talking about?
No, that's real. So is it like you know what I mean? Like what is if you be freestyling, what's like a next accomplishment or a next like feeling that you're trying to achieve through what you're doing?
Complete financial stability, and like I want to own a house like within the next like 2 years. Like I'm setting a very like, and it's like super simple. It's just I've been renting for so long, and I'm like, damn, I'm giving these motherfuckers like so much bread when I could have like a little situation and motherfucking wherever.
Question. So with having a house, acquiring a house, where does the house?
Okay, I want to get my first one in Atlanta because that's where I'm from, and all these white folks trying to buy shit up there, so I'm trying to just keep Atlanta as black as possible.
That's important.
One house at a time.
And I want to, and for this crib, I got a pretty big family, and I would like the first one. I want that to just be like, yo, what are you paying for rent, sister? What are you paying for rent, other sister? What are y'all paying? You know what I mean? Here, just pay half of that. That's gonna pay off the mortgage and pay the shit off. And I want to get like a tree farm because those make a lot of money, and you can hit up different there's different governmental things you can hit up, and
tax breaks and
tax write-offs. You can make money from like having different animals graze on your land.
Facts.
You can rent out space to like beehives or fucking people who have cattle, and like you can buy this land for fairly cheap in Georgia. So I'm just trying to tell all these black folks, I'm trying to buy up the whole Georgia with black folks. That's you could get 100 acres for 100,000.
Sheesh.
If something's 100,000, you could finance with probably like 10,000 down.
Yeah,
10,000 is very fucking doable.
Hey, niggas were making 10,000 off of the meme coin.
Exactly. Yo, shit. I'm man.
So that's life.
That shit been going.
But no, that's tight. Like, it's crazy to like everyone's getting to that age where you start thinking about, damn, like my landlord getting so much bread off of me, and my mom's mortgage is cheaper than our rent. So like, what are we talking about?
My mom's rent is cheaper than my rent. What the fuck you talking about? Like, I don't want my mom renting, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's certain shit, bro. It's like, I don't know, and it's like, I'm like at this point where like I'm just understanding legacy, what things are about, and I feel like when my father passed and recently, I kind of understood how important legacy is, and how important family is, and how important, because like I feel like before my pops passed, I was just very passive with like interacting with my family. It's like oh yeah, I won't make it down to Thanksgiving this year. I'll come next time. Or I won't. Like, I go to Atlanta as much as I can. There are other distractions in that city which bring me there, but I go to Atlanta as much as I can to see my family. Just use your imagination. I don't do hookah. So what's the other thing that's there?
He said the chicken wings at the booty club.
Yeah, chicken wings. But
wait, so like being like in Dallas, the strip club culture is like people go there, and like there's like there's some notable ones, but obviously like Atlanta is known for it.
Yeah, Magic City and the lesser known Blue Flame, which Slick is.
But so my question is, as a kid, was it like ingrained in you? Like, yo, I can't wait till I'm old enough to pull up to this.
Man, I wasn't so. I always kind of like, as a kid, I was like, the concept of a strip club is, it's dope. Get your money, sir. You know what I mean? Get your money. But like, I was like, as a kid, I'm like, I don't know. It's just like I saw so much of it. Like, my teachers were strippers at night. You know what I mean?
Shit.
No, on some real shit, bro. Like, so it's like a lot of shit. It's just like I didn't even think of like a strip club as a wild thing. I'm just like, oh, strip club. Like, it's like there's so many women that went to my church that was strippers, bro. Like, it's like, I don't know. It just wasn't. I think of a stripper like the same Uber way. Driver. Yeah, like damn near Uber driver or a therapist in a way, or like any other like
therapist.
Job
I
that
need
helps
you to explain.
Any other job that helps.
Uber driver I could get, but a therapist, I'm like, okay.
No, I mean, like it could be a doctor or lawyer. It doesn't have to be a therapist. Y'all digging deep.
Nah, man. We need the merch. If you could explain that, we making t-shirts, bro.
Looking at me crazy.
If you could explain that, we making t-shirts, bro. Strippers are therapists. Straight up.
And I hear what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying a stripper is a therapist. I'm saying I saw stripping as like any other normal job, a normal like any person would have.
Okay, so
like,
a regular occupation.
It's just an occupation to me, and growing up, it's always just been an occupation. And I don't know, I feel like people who aren't from Atlanta be more fixated on like Atlanta strip clubs. In Atlanta, I love the food, I love the normal parties, I love the people, I love just shit that I feel like niggas who come to Atlanta, it's like, oh yeah, strip club, ooh, hookah every day, I'm a ball out at this club, ooh, I saw this celebrity. It's like, I don't give no fuck about no celebrity, no strip club, no, I just fuck with the food, I fuck with the community, I fuck with the people. I feel like Atlanta people are super authentic in a very specific way, which I hella fuck with.
Yo, I I went to Atlanta during the summertime and I felt that, bro. Like just the people and just like, you know,
it really feels like home, G, to me.
Nah, for real. Like I had that.
Every black person has told me it felt like home. Like when niggas say it's the new Mecca, every black person should go to Atlanta once.
Bro, I was there talking to everybody, bro.
Pilgrimage,
like
bro.
I knew him forever,
walk
bro.
around Magic City.
Straight up.
No, you gotta walk up and down Edgewood. That's actually probably the realistic. You know,
that shit was amazing.
Martin Luther King from Atlanta. G, Atlanta niggas changed the world, bro.
Straight up.
Hey,
can't deny it.
So now, Dose, when you were talking about legacy, and that brings me back to one of the conversations that we've had in this living room where you're like, yo, I don't want to die, and then niggas be like, yo, he was a good coworker.
Man, straight up. Straight up. That's an important thing. And I heard a phrase earlier this week because, recently I've been in the limbo of figuring out if I really, really want to go 100% in on plan A or if I want to do some shit that is like, all right, like I'm going to build a safe haven by.
Plan A takes a plan B through Z. Or B through Z for our British people listening.
Okay, so what you mean by that?
Like, I feel like for plan A to happen, sometimes you need to like tap into plan B, plan C, plan D. Because it's like, the thing is with plan A, it's like, I feel like the way America tries to teach us shit is based off like industrialization. Industrialization is this like false sense of efficiency of like, oh, do this one thing and then that's gonna lead you to this. That's like a fucking farce, bro. It's like how many motherfuckers do the same thing their whole life and it never, you know what I mean? It's like there's so many talented people. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this lick over here and then bring that into the music space.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna do this lick over here. I'm gonna work this job that I don't like. And like literally, I love my clothing line. We just did our show. We had a great year.
What's your clothing line
It's called Product House.
Okay.
We just did our show. We had a great year. We're working on so many like awesome things coming up. But it's like, shit, I need this little extra bread right quick. Let me do this other design for this other person's clothing line.
Yeah.
Let me do this other design shit. Like, I wish I could completely, like, the plan A is like, boom, the clothes, the music, the design, like the shit I love to do. And then it's like, shit, I gotta do these plan B and C things to make plan A fully realized so I could re-rock the bread from.
But yeah, Made, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, what I was saying was, and I like that perspective too. And it's about balance. At the end of the day, everybody's gonna make their own personal choice when it comes to that. But I watched a video, and it was very similar to the conversation that we had, Chris, which was the dude had said, live the way you want to go out. And I think my
I hope
fear...
it's not Gary V.
Nah, it wasn't Gary V.
Hey, what's wrong with Gary V?
Or Tim Ferriss?
Nah.
Is it Tim Ferriss?
No. It was actually
Tony Robbins?
It was a writer, like a screenwriter or something
I
like
actually
that.
like those three guys. I'm just talking shit.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're just the notables.
But I think that was that was a big fear of mine as far as like legacy goes and remembrance, because sometimes you're supposed to be working this job that is not exactly what you want to be doing. But when you fade into it because of comfortability or reflex to whenever you deal with something hard that you don't want to go through and find out what's on the next level of your discomfort, you want to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to fall back. And for me, it was like, get a random job. When I moved to Chicago, it was like, all right, I'm going to work at Potbelly because they paying me this much an hour.
Y'all got Potbelly in Chicago?
Potbelly was made in Chicago.
Oh.
It's originally from Chicago, yeah.
Word.
But that's all the Potbelly talk we giving today. But at the time, I remember just going to work and fading into just like, yo, if I died in this moment, what would I be remembered for? And a lot of it didn't match up with who I was, because there was so much that I was trying to get done that I wasn't putting into action because of fear and comfort. So that was my take on that. And like you said, though, it's like there's responsibilities you got to take care of, but I think you should still...
Plan A just needs intention. So like Plan B and C become a part of Plan A when it's intentional.
And that's the same. It's like it could be in the same realm as long as it's sharpening what you're doing.
Even if it's not sharpening what you're doing, it might sharpen what you're doing in a bread way. It might sharpen what you're doing in like okay, now I can manage my free time better because I'm dedicating 20 hours to some shit I don't want to do, but it's giving me money so that these other fucking however many hours are in a week, I can fucking just work on what I'm doing and I don't have to worry about silly shit like
one of my favorite stories in the book Mastery is about Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach trained Pacquiao, trained Mayweather.
That's a fire-ass name to be a boxing coach.
Yeah.
Like your last name Roach.
Yeah,
like,
but he used to get
ill.
packed out. They used to roll him in a spliff like when he was a fighter himself.
Yeah.
They said he was
It's
really,
like every white boy coach in the league in the NBA.
But so Freddie Roach, they said he was really good in training, but he couldn't get it together in a real fight. So it got to a point where he just stopped boxing because like he couldn't put it together in a real game, in a real match. So he started going to the gym and he saw somebody he believed in and he started training him for free. And then he took all the things he learned and then became that man's trainer and then became world class, like world renowned for training other boxers, even though he couldn't do it himself. But so that was a plan A, him being a boxer
that pivoted.
That turned into a pivot. And I think everybody, from my perspective,
it's like plan A and a half.
No, you should run with your plan A until you hit a wall that says you can't go any further doing it this way.
But see, I think that's the key. As long as you go after your plan A, there's going to come with several different roadblocks and things splitting off into different directions. But you can't get to your passion if you don't follow that path. Like you can't get to your calling unless you follow something that first is your desire. And you might not go through and stay in the same place, but it should bring you into other places where it's like, oh, this makes sense, or oh, like
Facts.
How much do y'all believe in writing?
Right, bro. I don't do it enough.
Free writing,
just writing in general. Like literally, I will write down like, I'm only doing this thing right now for this money for this thing.
That's important.
I'm only doing like I'll write down just so I never lose intention of the so-called plan A. Like I feel like I got a plan A, a plan 1, a plan alpha, and like a plan
keep them all first though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I feel like the more I learned how to be like ridiculously like intentional. It's like, nah, like I'm literally gonna do this, so when I go to this party, I meet this person. When I meet this person, I have this thing he can make money off of.
Yeah.
Me being the middleman, I'll make money off of that. That's gonna fuel this other thing.
Hey, that's definitely some
Cali.
Atlanta shit on some. I was thinking of Hustle and Flow when he pulled up on Ludacris.
Hell no, I ain't never coming like no mark ass shit like that. Never compare me to Terrence Howard again in your life. That's the most disrespectful thing you could do to any black man is compare him to Terrence Howard.
Wait, what's wrong with Terrence Howard?
Come on, man.
Come on,
look
man.
it up, Google it.
Hey, but no, I like what you said about just being intentional, and I think that's the reason why you can do so many different things that you mentioned, where it's like you're doing things with the clothing, and you're doing things that take care of your living, and you're doing things for the music and meeting people. A lot of the time you get lost in those things, so I think it's a good exercise to just write down your intention. I've never even really quite thought to do that. You know what I mean?
No,
like I think that's a good,
because it's like literally you'll get sucked into a vortex.
Yeah, like
because all of these things come with identities.
Facts.
And it's just ultimately if you decide to morph into that face or not. So if you go in with a differentiation, like, yo, this is my plan. I go to work every day, but I need to know why I need to go to work every day.
You know what I was gonna say is, like, you go to work, let's say you go to an office job, and you're like, I only got this job so I can get money to fund this idea, this passion. When you walk past those doors, for you to maintain your job and to get paid more at that job, you have to act like you have intentions of climbing that ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So you're around other people that really take that shit serious. This is how they feed their kids. And you're like, wait, I'm like hustling even harder just to impress people just so I can keep my job, but they're dangling the carrot in front of me. And you're like, wait, I didn't come here for that carrot.
Right.
I came here to get my bread and get out. But like everywhere you go is meant to distract you from that initial intention. So it's interesting. Like it's kind of like the military or even the NFL. You got to be sold out. You got to be listening to what everyone else tells you about what you're supposed to do. So
straight up. And I think I think that was the hardest and continues to be the hardest part for me if I take any job. It be looking around at everybody else and they take it so seriously. Like they try and climb a ladder, but I brought my own ladder. You know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about the ladder that lives here in this building alone. It's like, nah, like I came here to add steps to my ladder.
How do you feel about the perspective that like every single thing is temporary? Like, and I've been kind of meditating on this recently where, okay, say the goal is to be a musician at the end of the day. That's also, you have to work just as hard as that as you do at an office job. You have to work just as hard as that within whatever you do. And certain things, like how you say in the military or the NFL, for some people who want to start businesses, they're like, oh, yo, this NFL is giving me bread. Yo, the military is giving me this bread. And I feel like everything literally is temporary. I think about life now from project to project, because if I think about it as like, this is big goal, like it's good to have that big goal in your mind, but if you kind of like put it on a pedestal, it's like less real, where you're kind of like, okay, this project funds this project brings to this project, from this project I get another project. Tom Sachs has this amazing quote where he says, I do work so I can get more work.
Facts. My uncle in Nigeria, he came for my brother's wedding.
Shout out Niger boys.
Facts. My other uncle who lives in Wisconsin married my blood aunt.
That's Wisconsin's like a hot spot. Yeah.
So we were at the table and we were all talking. I'm like, when are y'all gonna ease up? And he said, my uncle that lives in Nigeria, he said, the reward for hard work is more work.
Better work.
It's not even better. Just more.
It is more.
Just
work.
More paperwork, more everything, and like their appreciation for like the outcome, they're addicted to it. Even in their 60s, close to their 70s, they're like, yo, this is what I do. Like, I love completing these deals. And it's like, yeah, like shit is temporary. Like relationships are temporary. I was thinking recently with the Lake Tahoe, I went to Lake Tahoe like in July.
Okay.
And right after that, the wildfires happened. and you're like, damn, like that landscape has changed permanently. We're the only ones that are actually worried about that.
Yeah.
Because the earth is gonna, earth has has been going through this for a long time.
It's just how we adapt.
Yes. Like the tree that you see right there, the palm tree, that's temporary. This house is temporary. But it's us that get addicted to like, yo, this needs to be this forever.
Facts.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes we put our dreams on a pedestal. I think that's like one of the most toxic things you can ever do as a creative.
So I feel like that is what I struggle with most as an artist, as a dreamer. It's just like, yo.
There's just practical ways to think about it. It's like, okay, so your goal is to be a musician. You should then realize, realign my goals is like, okay, I want to be able to survive off of music. Rather than being like, I want to be a musician. Right. Set your intentions like super, super direct. Like, I want to make money off this music shit. And then you start making moves. Like, I feel like I was like, yo, I want to start producing for people and I want to start getting credits. I've been making moves that make more sense towards that because I started thinking about things in like a very practical, like monetarily driven way. And I started thinking about things in a very like just different than like I've been programmed my whole life. It's like, oh, if you want to be this, have this in your head and you'll become. It's like, yeah,
but
for sure.
You know what was crazy is being a musician. Right when you start like strumming or writing, you're technically a musician.
You are.
So it's not. That's like not even like you are what you are. Like once you read a script and say you're an actor, you're an actor.
Yeah.
But if you want to be an actor who has done X, an actor who's done Y, you got to start making a list of steps how to execute that. You got to do shit
in music that you might not want to do sometimes. You got to do shit in music. Some people are fortunate and they do what they want to do the whole time. There's sometimes it's like, damn, these really weak hood niggas want me to make a bunch of beats for them. And they're going to pay my rent for the next 6 months.
Okay, so I got a question. Like, where does integrity kick in? Because you can say that you're going to do all these things for...
What is integrity?
That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, so for me, one of the things that I fight off often is like, I'll be like, man, I got this project that I know I want to get done, right?
Yeah.
But to get to that point, it's like I might have to produce for other people to get money or to get a certain platform. But instead of looking at that like an opportunity, I feel like a lot of the time I end up going into that feeling like it's a compromise. Because I'm not doing something that I'm passionate. I'm being the millennial kid, I guess. Where it's like I'm not doing something that I'm passionate about. That I feel like I'm doing something transactional versus out of my.
But it's like, okay, we've worked in retail. We don't mind. Do you mind working retail transactionally? Like previous to like recently.
It was a tool.
It was a tool. Same with this music shit. It's like, I feel a lot of times, sometimes we're like, oh, this thing that's this job that has this name, I can do this and get money. Oh, this art that I don't want to do, no, I don't want to do that because that's going to compromise who I am as an artist. No, you're just spending more of your time so that you set yourself up to have more of what you want. I have homies and they're like singer-songwriter type niggas and they like hate certain genres of music, but they write for those type of genres of music because that's what happens to be paying the bills. That's what happens to be opening up different avenues for them.
So that goes back to walking into the office and having one intention, and then there's nothing wrong with being like, yo, I got to do this side mission to complete this main mission.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get wrapped up in the short-sighted rewards of that money from that other genre, where they start thinking about themselves like, yo, okay.
That's what I'm saying. People got to realize that that's also sticky.
But you got to let go of that fear too, because it's like...
It's not even a fear. It's just a reality.
No, it's a reality, but it's also a fear to be like, oh, I don't want to do this other genre, but I'm going to go and work retail. It's the same thing.
So, okay, let me re-explain. It's like when you do something through obligation and the obligation is money.
Yeah.
you meet other people who are doing that obligation, maybe even on a higher tier than you, and you're like, wait, I kind of want that money.
Right.
And when you do that, you're like, okay, but wait, what am I exchanging? What am I getting away? What source am I getting away from? So that I feel
sometimes you might throw yourself into better sources because like they're like you could do some shit and you're just like, oh, motherfuckers from a label will be like, yo, I really like what you did for this hood nigga. I have 12 other hood niggas you can produce for. And be like, I actually like this other artist. Here's some other records I have. And you're like, damn, these are good too. So sometimes those things you don't want to do get you through another door.
Yeah, I think when you go down that road, the tricky thing about it is like every path you take, you got to make sure that there's roads that still get you back to where you wanted to go.